Living Bible Explorers is a faith-based, not-for-profit organization that is committed to helping children, youth, and their families become productive, responsible, and spiritually mature individuals. This is accomplished through building relationships between individuals and LBE staff and volunteers within a safe environment and programs. At LBE, we believe that nutrition is really important for growing young minds. And so at all of our programs, we serve food, usually entire meals. One of our other programs is our lunch program. Several times a week, kids from the surrounding schools come to LBE for a nutritious meal made and served by volunteers. One of the things that we love most at LBE is the outdoors. And so throughout the year, we run a variety of camp and day camp programs. In the summer, we run a day camp out of our 600 Burnell location. We operate a summer camp at Haddishville, and we run a wilderness program where kids can enjoy pristine wilderness, either hiking or canoeing. Each week, LBE's small staff runs 6 ministry programs, has up to 120 home visits where we visit the families of the children that we serve to make sure that their needs are being met, that they have enough food in the home, and that they're being well taken care of. And each year, we have 13,000 different individuals coming and going from our programs. At LBE, we believe that one of the most important things that we can do is to help prepare kids for life. And so we partner with the families in offering programs like Homework Club, making sure that the kids have supplies for school, and are learning skills to help them that will better serve them later in the workforce or as they go on to higher education. In 2019, Living Bible Explorers had the privilege of celebrating their 50th anniversary. This was a really exciting time for our organization, a time to come together, to celebrate Jubilee and all that we had been through and all that we had accomplished. As a part of that, we looked at where we would like to go in the future and that we would like to celebrate another 50 years. As we looked forward and we looked back, we realized that in order to do that as an organization, we would have to become more sustainable. So as an organization, we began to look at what we're doing and how we're doing it. As we looked back, we began to take inventory of not only all that we had done, but all that we're doing. We took inventory of the things that we've achieved over these years and also the things that we've purchased. We looked at the large ministry center that we have in urban Winnipeg, that the large summer camp that we have in Haddishville, the wilderness programming that we do, and the large fleet of vehicles that we have, including 3 school buses, 3 15-passenger vans, 2 minivans, and a variety of other tools that we use to accomplish all of the ministries that we do, including a large pump out at camp and a variety of generators. As we began to take inventory and look at all that we had acquired over these years, we also thought it was important to assess what kind of impact we were making in running our ministries. To do this, we began to audit all of our programs. We took inventory of everything that we do and how we do it, starting with our building at 600 Burnell. Our building is an old church. It's almost 100 years old and has just over 3,200 square feet of usable space on the main floor and close to another 800 usable square feet elsewhere in the building. For this study, I began to look at how much electricity and how much natural gas we were using every month. I also looked at some of the other things that we do in our organization, paper usage, and/or things like how much food waste we have in a given month. As I began to work through electricity, natural gas, and water usage, I was actually quite surprised to find that as an organization, we used little more than a household of 5 people. This was surprising because we have hundreds of kids through the building each week. But given that the building is well insulated, has new windows and doors, that the lights are shut down and the furnace shuts off at night because there's no one in the building, and that there's not things like laundry and showering going on in the building, we don't use as many resources as I thought. When we began this audit, one area that really jumped out at us as a place where we could improve was in the area of food waste. As an organization, we depend on food banks to provide us with the food that we need to feed kids in our programs and to put together hampers for their families, and also for the events that we hold in the neighborhood. Unfortunately, a lot of the food that comes from the food banks is already well past its expiry date, and the fruits and vegetables have often been frozen or refrigerated for a long period of time and are not very good to use fresh when we receive them. It was surprising to see that we throw away almost 10,500 pounds of food every year. Another area that the audit revealed to us where we could make significant changes was in our paper usage. As a not-for-profit, we depend on donations to be able to run our programs. To do this, one of the best ways to receive donations is through direct mailing. And we discovered that through our direct mailings, we're using 40,800 sheets of paper every year. Because our programs are so spread out, we depend on our fleet of vehicles to pick kids up. This was another surprising area in our audit. We quickly discovered how much gas and diesel we're using in a given year. Close to 13,000 liters of gas and 10,400 liters of diesel transporting kids to programs. One of the most important parts of our programming is summer camp. Each year we send over 300 kids to summer camp. These are all kids that we get to work with throughout the year and then get to focus on for the week of the summer or weeks of the summer that they get to be at camp. From there, they also graduate into a counselor in training and eventually become counselors and camp leaders. In order to carry out camp, we have to transport the kids out to our camp in Haddishville. And because of the camp's location, it's very expensive for us to try and run hydroelectricity out to the camp. It would be in the ballpark of somewhere around $200,000. And so until this time, we've depended on generators to provide our electricity at camp. Every summer, we use about 900 liters of gasoline in these generators, 2,400 liters of diesel in these generators, and another 600 liters of propane for cooking out at camp. We also use about another 1,000 liters of diesel running our lake pump. This pump moves water from the Whitemouth River to our own private lake. Each summer we move about 153 million liters of water into the lake. Creator of greenhouse gas out at camp is burning wood. Each summer we're probably generating in the neighborhood of 100 kilos of CO2 just having campfires. Conducting an environmental audit on our programs has surprised me in a number of ways. It surprised me in a positive way in how little resources we're using in our current ministry location on Burnell Street, but it also surprised me in a number of other ways, especially in the area of food waste. 10,400 pounds of food is a lot of waste, and it's something that we can change and do something about. In the future, we plan to do more composting, to compost both in the city, and then to reuse that compost for gardens at camp. Our dependence on fossil fuels is something we've struggled with for quite some time now. As an organization, we depend on our buses and vans to transport kids to and from programs. If we didn't, this would create barriers, especially for smaller children, to attend our program. And so instead, we've worked at reducing the amount that we're transporting kids in trying to run programs in local neighborhoods out of other schools and churches. At camp, we've explored replacing our generators with solar panels. Unfortunately, this has been cost prohibitive, as our camp covers a large area and we would need to depend on battery backup, which gets quite expensive. And as we've explored multiple units for that site, it could be upwards of $80,000, and this is hard for us to imagine as a small organization. In the short term, we've worked to utilize smaller generators and to only run them when needed. Over the past 50 years, Living Bible Explorers has worked hard to become more sustainable, making small changes from plastic and styrofoam to reusable plates and cups. At one point, we ran all of our diesel vehicles on used vegetable oil. And as we have entered into this process of logging and auditing our programs, we've become aware of areas where we can change and grow and make changes going forward in the future in ways that make sense for the organization. We look forward to the next 50 years ahead.